Welcome back. So this is going to be a long video, this one, I'm afraid. So maybe watch it when you get home. And I want some engagement on this one in the comments. And I'm going to title the video, Why Do We Do Mediumship? But the video is actually going to be more of a thinking out loud kind of way to it. So that's what we're going to be discussing in this video. I've done a demonstration the other evening, couple of nights ago now, and I'd finished the demonstration, and when I do demonstrations, I drink so much water. I do not drink water any other time, only when I demonstrate. And I had drunk like a massive jug of water, and at the moment the demonstration finished, I needed the loo. I had to run off from the front of the hall, right the way through, out the back, to get to the toilet. And a guy followed me in, and you probably don't need the graphic image, but I went and had a wee, and a guy beside me also rushed in there to have a wee, and he turned to me and he said, Why do you do mediumship? Why on earth? What got you into mediumship? And I immediately answered, well, it was when my sister passed. I wanted to know where she had gone. But the question stuck with me. I mean, it really stuck with me, because now that the ingredient has changed in some way, I know where she's gone now. So why do I still do mediumship? I entered it to find answers, like I went to spiritual churches and I went to mediums to have the communication with my sister. I didn't get at first, it was only after a period of time that I got my own evidence of where she was, but it wasn't immediate. And through research or trying to find my answers, I found myself in development, like developing mediumship, and I can only think that was to have that communication myself with my sister. So the ingredient must have changed at some point, to find that there is somewhere else initially, and then getting that answer, yes, there is somewhere else, and then trying to get the communication, then having the communication. At that point, it had to change. And so it was a long drive home. I mean, it must have been an hour and a half or something like that to get home. And this question was just going round and round in my head. And we are now 3 days from that dem. And still the question sits with me. So, as I said, it's a thinking out loud kind of video. So, at this point, I would like you to pause the video and let me know why do you do mediumship? Initially, your first thought, the immediate thought, why do you do mediumship? As I said, the ingredient must have changed at some point, so I've started to go through development. And through this development, I found good ones and bad ones, and so that made me hungry. That made me want to search more, find the better ones, find the ones that are good. To have this relationship with the spirit world from a demonstration point of view, or sitting in the company of the spirit world. It all started to change. The ingredients started to change. And through this change, or this mindset, this expansion of consciousness, as us spiritual people would say, the hunger seemed to get more. I wanted more, and I wanted more, and I wanted more. To the point where I was going to see mediums do healing. I was going to see mediums do communication. I was going to see mediums for physical phenomena. And I mean, the list is endless. Trance and speaking, all of this kind of stuff. And I was just absorbing the information, almost like a checklist as such. And the more and more I went to go, and the more I discovered and understood, and, the hunger seemed to be more and more and more. I've always said it's very addictive. I've always said that. But in reflection, now, simply because of this man asking me, why do you do mediumship, has prompted this state of thought, deep thinking process that goes with it. There are many, many groups online, and they all have their say, lots and lots of people, keyboard warriors, etc. And one example that I can give you is, most of you would have read or seen some sort of posts about it online, with physical mediums. Your Gary Manyons, your Scott Milligan, your Kais, your Warrens, all of the physical mediums out there, and everyone seems to have an opinion on it. And someone the other day really, really made me laugh. They said, "What are you doing about it? You can sit here and you're digging them out, and you're using the fraudulent card, and you're saying this and you're saying that like you're all experts. But what are you actually doing about it?" And this was absolutely correct for me. I thought, well said, whoever that was. If I could remember their name, I would shout their name out now. But I don't know their name. But it's absolutely correct, like, it's okay to have an opinion, but when you take it online and you put it out there, you can't retract that. It's like these videos, isn't it? They go online, and the moment I release them, they're out there. That's it. There's nothing that can change now. It's in the hands of the people that are going to view it or use it or keep it in context or take it out of context. This is going to happen throughout. But still, the question remains, why? Why do you do it? So it was on the development path, and as you're going down this development path, you soon realise, I need to do this for myself. This is something that changes you as a person. I certainly very quickly understood that I wasn't the same person I was 6 months earlier, a year earlier. And very quickly these changes were coming about, started to change the circumstances that I found myself in. The way I was talking to people or treating people. And even today that's still evolving. There's a different kind of empathy, and a different kind of responsibility that goes with your words and your actions, and I'm more aware now than ever of that responsibility. And so you go down this rabbit hole, this wormhole on development, and yet we don't stop to think on what's the end game, where am I trying to take this, what am I trying to do. Some of you will enter mediumship as a hobby, something, it's a nice social, and I meet like-minded people, etc., all that kind of stuff, and it's nice to have someone that thinks like you, and acts like you maybe, and does mediumship like you, but there's no real desire to put it out there or get out there and spread the word of a spirit world. It's just it's a social event, or something that you just enjoy doing, like someone enjoys playing golf or going to the gym. Maybe it's something like that for you. And other people have professional categories there, don't they? You have your professional golfers, or your fitness instructors, your PTs, etc., with the examples that I'm giving here. There's those people that go to the next level, that try to get the idea out there. But again, like, if you sat down and asked them why do they do it? What did you look for? What are you trying to achieve here? It's more than just this quick answer. And I was very aware I gave this man a very quick answer. Then you go through a period of time where I think, I was at a level regarded as a evidential, or regarded as half decent, and then you start owning your own mediumship in that way. You're almost offended when someone ridicules the spirit world, or says the spirit world do certain things, and I'm certainly no stranger to that. I have been offended on many occasions because of the actions of so-called mediums, or preachers of spirituality or the spirit world, and you have this feeling of offence. So then you're out there trying to educate. You're out there trying to change the mindset. You know, maybe people have had a bad experience with mediumship, and now you see yourself as someone that can maybe fix that or go with it. But is that really the drive that you're going for? Is that really what you're trying to do? Being the superhero or trying to correct it? Maybe that's your reason for doing mediumship. And again, it's maybe one of those things where the answer that you've put in, you maybe slightly want to change now. So it would be a good opportunity to pause the video and change your answer. Not edit it, just add another answer. So maybe you're someone that likes the attention, you know, maybe you like the stage, maybe you like these people that admire you or they want your mediumship. Maybe you're someone that just likes doing one-to-one readings, or you simply like the title psychic medium, spiritual medium, evidential medium. Maybe that makes you feel good, you know, all of these things that go with the label of mediumship. But if you're actually developing in the correct way, you'll realise it is just a label and everything is just kind of normal. There's no difference there. The stage, I never wanted the stage, and always dragged up to the front, forced to the front. And now I'm a very, very busy platform demonstrator. Still extremely scared before I do any kind of demonstration, but I know that once it starts, away it goes. So maybe you're now thinking, I want to educate the public. I want to educate them that there is an afterlife, that there is something that needs to be changed in our society, in the culture, in our religions, in our belief. And for me, I think more down this line would suit my way of thinking. Not because I want to be the teacher and I can do this. More of an understanding that if you implement the changes that I suggest upon the channel, on the videos, in the classrooms, off the stage, that actually your life can be a little bit different. Your mind can hold information differently, you process differently, you circulate with different kind of people, and this may bring a new angle to your life, may bring people in, it may kick people out. But you start to change as an individual. You start to think and process completely differently. Just sit and think for a moment when you first started. And maybe you only started 6 weeks ago. Maybe you started 6 years ago. But just think back now how much that has changed. How much you have changed in that process. So again, I think it's not about the pedestal or the front of the class or look how many people I have in my workshop or look how many people I have in my residential, because I know teachers and tutors that sit and look at the photos that go online and count the number of people that the other tutors have got. You know, or the mediums that are just bringing down other mediums and they're trying to attack their style or their way. I honestly, 10 years I reckon it took me for me to have my mediumship recognised as evidential. Only a week ago, a local medium told the church that I was serving not to book that guy. Don't book him. I don't think he's the right person for you. And that same medium lacks depth or lacks evidence, and yet there I am trying to produce evidence and trying to give it a full-bodied experience, and I'm being told to stay away or not go there. You know, why? Why are you doing mediumship? Again, will just resonate through some of your minds. I think overall there is a process of natural laws that happen. And I think the more I research, the more I demonstrate, the more I look, the more I practice and engage and all the things that go with mediumship, the more understanding I find of the natural laws that are in place. You know, I'll go back to one of the very simple ones, the natural law of cause and effect. Reap as you sow. You know, it's one of those things that is very, very powerful. A huge amount of responsibility goes with that. If you can educate a group, a class, a county, a country, a religion, imagine the difference. Imagine the impact that would have on the world. That what you're doing, you are accountable for. What you are teaching people, you are accountable for. The words that you speak and the ears that they touch, you are accountable for. I think the world would be a very, very different place. Stupid things, easy things that very off the top of my head, the starving people of the world and the food wastage that we have. The natural resources, you know, your oils and all of that kind of stuff, and the wars that we're trying to take control of those oils, or their system's not right and we encroach into another country and tell them they're doing it wrong and you need to be doing it this way, and if you don't, we'll start carpet bombing the major cities, killing the women and the children. The monetary system, the way it's the complexity of it that keeps the rich rich and the poor poor. Just a whole society. And yet the fundamental underlying natural law there of cause and effect. You are accountable. I think that's the reason, I honestly think that's the reason I do mediumship. I've done many, many, many bad things in my world, in my growing up. I've still got a long, long way to go. I fully appreciate that. But I think by doing right or doing good or, you know, accepting I was wrong and trying to make amends for those things that I did or have done or about to do, I think because I'm accountable, I try to do the right thing now. You know, even when people are not watching, try and do the right thing all of the time. And in some way that maybe chip away at the deficit that I have from a past that it is way, way, way in the distance for a person that I no longer am. Do I feel guilty for those things? Not anymore. I think my life experience has made me the person I am. But I also accept that I'm accountable for those actions. It's not an ignorance. I know it's there. So why do you do mediumship? Why do you throw yourself into the lion pit? The spiritual community is one that lacks a lot of spirituality, to be honest. A lot of knives in the back and a lot of opinion from keyboard warriors. But how many of you plan to go out and spread the real word of the spirit world? The law of cause and effect, the way you treat people, the way you blame or act with the spirit world, your ego, all of these things. Why do you do it? Why do you do mediumship? And I think it will cause a process of thought, make you reevaluate. Where do you want it to be? What do you want to change? How far can you make this go? Is it just a hobby? You know, I would like to think I could change some things there. Will I change the world? I doubt it. I'm one man with one voice. But will I spark the change in another man's head or a woman's head? Could I be the facilitator of that? Possibly. Could any of you be the facilitator? Absolutely. What I do know is that we need to start somewhere, and maybe I am that someone, maybe you are that someone that could spark that change, that natural law of cause and effect. Reap as you sow. Everyone is accountable for the thoughts, the actions and the words that they speak. That's much more than any kind of round of applause at the end of a demonstration, or people going, oh, that guy's a medium, or that woman's a medium, they're amazing, what a gift they have. To actually change the outlook of a society or a culture or a religion and make people think before they do something, you know, whether that be something bad or something good or take their own life or whatever it'll be, if you can make them think and change their thought process, surely that's worth thinking about. Not really sure why I've done the video, to be honest. That little old man asked me at the end of the demonstration, why do you do mediumship? Such an open-ended question, and I have no idea why he had to come in and ask me that. It was obviously burning there in his mind, but I don't think he realises the impact it had on me for the last 3 days. So as I said, just thinking out loud. Just thinking out loud. Why do you do mediumship? What's the drive? What's the purpose? What's the end game? Thanks for watching.